Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm your host, Rich, and I am joined by Ravage. Ravage, how are you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Living the dream.
We're already in picks and
MLG.
bans, but they jumped right in while we were in commercial break, so we're going to jump over to that. Looks like some pretty standard picks and bans so far, though. We are going to see the Order team banning out Hell and Khepri, and we're going to see the Chaos team banning out Sun Wukong and Giannis.
Yeah, extremely standard bans right now. The only thing that kind of deviates from that path is the Giannis, which is usually your third ban. You see that a lot, but that takes away the global pressure on two high-end teams.
Yeah, is there anyone who's particularly good at Giannis on these teams? Who are our mid players tonight?
We're actually going to see Forger Vulcan. He looks to be stepping in here for Epsilon, which is really interesting because who are we missing here? We got Sealcar Kata. Kata's actually missing, so we see Forger Vulcan on the roster here tonight. It's very interesting. So 3 new players on the Epsilon roster right now. I'm not sure if Forger's just a sub or what's happening here.
Yeah, that could be a little dangerous for them, especially because we have seen their roster look so strong right now. There really isn't a reason to mix it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'll see Toasty and Prosper, 2 longtime members of Epsilon. They were one of the longest-standing rosters, I'd say, on the scene. And both of those guys were replaced this week by Penny and Shame. Shame obviously coming from Aware. Forger Vulcan playing with Team Solo Q formerly. He's actually Kenshin's cousin, which is interesting to know. It's a little bit of family connection there on the team as well. Eager, however, has had the same roster since July. The last roster change they made was the pickup of Matt Coys from the former Jumping is Useless roster now known as Onslaught.
Yeah, so any roster changes, though, tonight, facing up against Team Eager, could be bad. Team Eager, a really strong team. We've seen a lot out of both of these teams, but actually looking at some of the picks that have gotten locked in for Epsilon, Epsilon's going to be your Order team tonight in this match. Xing Chen, Hades, Geb. Pretty tanky comp.
Interesting. You almost have a counter here, see? With the Xing Chen, you almost counter yourself because if you mistime those ults with the Pillar of Agony and the Xing Chen ult, you can actually manage to flick those guys out of the Hades ult. So it's something to be cautious of, for sure. But you do have the lockdown with the Geb.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that Xing Chen's actually going to be able to set up for Hades or not. It feels like it, like you said, might actually be countering itself. But then looking over at your Chaos team, Team Eager, we're going to see Guan Yu, Sobek, and Zhang Kui locked in. We've been seeing so much Zhang Kui.
Well, we're in a healing meta right now, and Zhang Kui just heals so well in lane. He has that presence with the sustain as well as the wave clear. Not to mention the fact that his ultimate is a team fight killer. It just completely destroys any team that has a up close and personal with your team. Especially when you're looking at a Sobek mixed in there as well with a Guan Yu. You're going to look at Zhang Kui's ability once the Sobek pluck comes out to just really burst down whoever he picks. And put that in with a circle ult with Zhang Kui with the Hue Yi, and you're asking for trouble.
Oh yeah, it's looking like they're going to be pretty strong in a team fight right now, especially, as you mentioned, healing meta. We saw how important that was for XGN last night in all of their team fights. Oh, Shiba Lanka is going to get locked in for Epsilon.
Yeah, that's a late carry pick there in the Shiba. Usually on Xbox, we see that Shiba pick coming out very early. Very popular pick on the Xbox for obvious reasons. Hue Yi, though, as well coming out.
Yeah, Hue Yi's super strong right now. I always assume Air Cougar's going to try to go for the On Her, though. I always expect him to try to go for it. Definitely one of his favorite gods.
On Her is one of those gods that are really situational for a number of reasons. It's really good in armor shred comp, and especially paired up with something like an Ares for that team fight setup, as well as if you're going against someone with hard CC, because you have that innate CC immunity in the On Her ult, but he's hard to use when you're playing against top tier gods. But he's a boxer. That's what he does. He's a boxer 80 carry for sure.
Yeah, and looking right now, actually getting to see a little bit of who's matched up with who. We're going to see Xing Chen against Bologna, right? Oh no, we're actually going to see against, is that Guan Yu being in solo lane?
That's a Guan Yu jungle.
Okay.
Matt Coys has used that quite often. Good sustain, good clear in the jungle. That's a Bologna solo. So in the solo lane, we're likely to see a matchup here between Xing Chen, that Sealcar has him, and DeWurst. So yeah, that's a Xing Chen versus Bologna matchup in the solo lane as well. So we've seen DeWurst. DeWurst can really go off on the Bologna pick. But Sealcar, hyper aggressive, and you got to think that Xing Chen really plays to his strengths.
Yeah, but we've seen Bologna just being so efficient in the laning phase and then getting so strong in team fights late game. So I kind of favor Bologna in this matchup.
It really depends how you play it with the early game. It depends on who gets the rotations on solo, and if someone gets the dreaded solo lane kill, the 1v1
Yeah.
kill, the one that everyone laughs about you after and you turn into an internet meme. So it'd be interesting to see if that happens over there, or if not, if Bologna can really scale out a lane here. I think she'll probably be able just to get on and stick on Hades as well, because she's able to close the gap on Hades so well, because he doesn't have much mobility even with the death from below. He can death from below, and she can Eagles rally over to catch him in a team fight, and that could be detrimental.
Looking over at the duo lane, though, Hu Yi versus Shibalanka, who is stronger in the laning phase?
This one's okay. This is an interesting matchup for a number of reasons. Okay, you've got the Sobek, okay, with the Hu Yi, so you've got that ability to get the CC chaining off very easy if Sobek can land that block. But the thing with X-Ball is X-Ball can just jump on out of there, and he has CC immunity on his jump. So that's something we need to take note of as well. So it's going to be hard for Sobek to really zone the X-Ball. I'd say early on, you're going to see X-Ball get actually outclear the Sobek Hu Yi.
Interesting. And Shibalanka we have seen, and Geb as well. Super strong late game. So it's going to be important for Eric Cougar to actually be able to try to lock down that lane any way he can with Jelly.
The thing you're going to look for is look for the Jelly's really good at those blink plucks. So the thing you need to look for is Jelly to get those unexpected plucks, where he's going to blink in and pluck the X ball without him being able to get that jump off. And hopefully with a rotation from the Guan Yu, with his high mobility, they'll be able to get in there and they'll be able to secure that kill. That's the key for Eager right now, to be able to pop that dual lane off, or in the early game at least.
Whose comp are you favoring right now? Are you more Epsilon or Team Eager?
I like Eager's comp better than I like Epsilon's comp, and I know like anyone who's casually watching is going to say, "Are you kidding me? They've got X-Ball, the Willix, Geb, they got the Geb knockup, the Willix ult with the Willix steroid." But at the end of the day, Eager has a great actual team comp. When we talk about team comps, it's a team game, and Eager has a lot of setup that leads into some heavy team fight damage here with the Circle Ultimates.
Yeah, that is definitely true. But we did see that Willix steroid do a lot of work last night. And that was actually matched up against Odin.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. I'm not sure if the Willix pulls Hu Yi out of his jump. I think she does, but I'm not 100% sure, so I won't go on the record and say that. But if she does, that could be a little bit of a nightmare pick on this for Eager in the dual lane when a Willix rotates.
Yeah, because we should expect some of Wheelix rotations, and if that actually is a bit of a counter pick there, it could be really strong. We did see the Wheelix get picked last too, if I'm correct, so that might have been a counter to Hu Yi.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it is, and it's just something that I haven't been exposed to a whole lot to actually see it in action, so I'm actually really curious myself to see if that pulls. I'm thinking it does, because it is elite, right? Like, he is up in the air, he is going back, so based on the description of Willix's ability, that should pull Hu Yi out of that, so honestly, that could be really difficult for Hu Yi to deal with.
Yeah, no, that would definitely make this matchup a little bit better for them. But looking right now, just at division standings and where we are in the league, this is a pretty important match for these two teams. This is kind of going to determine who the top dog is, because both of these teams are looking very strong. They're definitely in the top 4 teams. But if one team manages to run away with both matches, it could definitely have effect on the standings for the rest of the season, affect the seeding when they actually do move over to Ohio for the LAN finals.
This is a very key matchup, especially when you bring XGN into the mix now, where they've switched up the roster and you have a former SPL team playing in the Pro League. So none of these top-tier teams have gone against Sonata right now, so they need to make sure that just in case that becomes a problem for them, they don't know how to deal with them, they need to pick up these wins like this here. This could easily be a split right now between two seasoned teams. The problem is that Epsilon has 3 practically new players to their core. I mean, they've replaced over 50% of their team, which is huge. Look at Jing Chen here now. He is about to get caught in between 4 different members of Eager, and there comes the Talu Assault. The Sandman comes in and Pluck as well. Zealcar in a little bit of trouble here, but no one can seem to catch him.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to keep up with him there, and they know not to overcommit. We were seeing Shibalanka and Hades move over to support Jing Chen. If they got there in time, we definitely would have seen first blood, but the right move by Eager to try to get a little bit of early aggression going on, but definitely the right move to pull out before they got one of their own team members killed.
For sure. risky by Steel Car there, but he went up and he got the aggressive ward. So you see all the aggressive wards are placed down here. 2 on the mid Harpies on either side, 1 on the enemy speed camp from the side of Eager, and 1 defensive ward on the Fire Giant for Epsilon as well.
Yeah, now after they got all their wards down, we're going to see the pretty standard start. Are you expecting anyone to try to invade early here?
No, I would have, just for the fact you have a Bologna and you have that Guan Yu, and that's why that defensive ward was placed there by the Fire Giant, because you might have seen a blue invade coming from the Bologna Guan Yu on a Willix and Jing Chen. Willix, though, is fairly formidable in the early game, so they may, they'd opt not to do that, I would imagine, but good defensive ward on the side of Epsilon.
Yeah, looking over, we're going to see everyone in the mid lane first, and we're going to actually see Hades move over with a Wheelix, and they're going to try to take down this mid camp right now. It looks like Zhang Kui and Guan Yu are going to take down the opposing Harpy mid camp.
That was a really good call, Rich, because they saw that they had the wave pushed in there, so there was experience lost on the side of Epsilon. As they did lose mini waves. Shame going to come in here and try and zone McCoys, but McCoy's just going to dash on over with the Feather Step, going to take a tower shot as well. Vulcan coming in as well with the death from below.
They definitely put on a lot of pressure there. They might be able to push Guan Yu back a little bit for a while. He does have a speed buff right now. Oh, Air Cougar actually manages to pull off first blood in the duo lane, and Jelly follows up.
Oh, that is not a good situation. The Geb and the X-Ball combo should have really been able to push Eager's dual lane back a little bit, at least in the first few minutes of the game. And to get that happening pre-level 5 before the ultimates come in from Sobek with the lurking in the waters as well as the Huey ultimate, that is a bad turn for Penny and Kenshin.
Yeah, just look how far pushed up they are.
Dual lane.
And look how far they're hitting tower already. This is looking a little bit bad. Geb just getting back to the lane right now. We're seeing it. Jelly and Air Cougar already at level 4.
You're going to see them hit level 5 very early, maybe the first people on the map to do so in the dual lane, which is absolutely crazy when you think about it, because you usually see that honor going to the solo or the jungle this early in the game.
Yeah, we're actually, that's a big play for Team Eager. This is one of the strongest openings we've seen in quite some time in the Pro League. Everyone else has been playing it relatively safe, but they got in there and won that matchup really quick, won that lane. They already pushed damage in on tower. Everything else is pretty standard, though. We are seeing that basic boxing match in the solo lane. Jing Chen taking a little bit more damage. D-Worst kind of bullying him around just a little bit.
Yeah, DeWorst not really living up to his name at any point. He is actually an extremely formidable soul laner, probably one of the best in the game right now. Steelcar, in his own right, is absolutely dominant when he gets to the team fight stage. He's incredibly aggressive. DeWorst plays a little bit more of a passive game than Steelcar, but I'm pretty sure everyone does. Steelcar is just so aggressive, will dive you under tower if he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, D-Worst's name. That's always what I thought it was. I thought it was like a joke, like he was the worst. I actually found out it's because of his name.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's actually because of his name.
He was the worst.
Yeah, no, it's because of his name. And he's definitely not the worst, and neither is his team. They're quite good. I'm expecting a lot out of Team Eager.
Look at the turn here down in the dual lane. Here we go, the block on the X-Ball. Penny trying to get on out of there, lurking in the waters is Jelly, and there's the jump from Air Cougar. No ultimate from the side of a Willix. And
Jelly getting so fed right now. Jelly is already level 6. Looking at the graphs right now, we are seeing an XP difference already of around 2,000. Now we're actually going to see them go, and they're going to try to take this attack speed camp. Hades is going to move in with Shame, with Kenshin, but this team fight is still looking positive for Team Eager.
A little bit of a mistime there by Vulcan. He didn't time the cooldown on Sobek's dash there. He definitely could have had a kill there if he had timed that probably about a second or two earlier. But good try by Vulcan there. The interesting thing to note, Rich, 3,294 gold for Sobek right now. Jelly's top gold and XP in the game right now. Or not top XP, actually that honor goes to Bologna, but he's not far off.
Yeah, looking at player damage too, Hui's already put in 3,000 player damage.
That's crazy.
It's looking pretty insane for Team Eager. This is a really good start. And we're actually seeing them aggress right now on Sealcar. Guan Yu shredding a lot of damage into him right now. The Shiva Lanka ult is going to go off. Sealcar trying to run away, and it looks like he's going to get away, but they already lost that mana camp.
Yeah, that's not good. When you're in the solo lane, you don't want to lose that blue buff, especially not on the first respawn. They're also going to get the speed camp here, it looks like, as Forger making the rotation over. They're not... Okay, they do get to secure it with the Willix. Willix jumping in there. Forger's finally getting out with the death from below, but Shame in a lot of trouble here now as he's going to try and jump out. Jelly just barely missing that block.
Yeah, we just saw so much counter jungling, and that's going to be absolutely huge for them. And then we're going to see another team fight.
Oh, that Cataclysm though, Rich.
Yeah, Sobek though going down. He does push in a decent amount of damage, but Geb is going to chill behind that shield right now.
Yeah, Geb, that's one of the strongest thing Geb's kit is that shield with a nice low cooldown on it, as well as the ability to remove CC, which is big in a team fight, especially when you're dealing against a team like this here who has some CC.
Yeah, Team Eager, though, looking extremely confident in the team fights and also really feeling themselves on the objectives right now. They counter-jungled so hard, and that is really pushing them with this XP lead and this gold lead. We're already seeing an XP difference of 1,300 and a gold difference of 1,800, and we're only 6 minutes into this game. This is still early laning phase.
That's for sure. You're going to see Sealcar actually starting to put the damage on Bellona in the solo lane here right now, as he has his pen boots online. Bellona not able to get back from the lane yet, which has given her an XP advantage, which is big. There's the big Jing channel down in the blue buff as he tries to continue to put the damage down, as we see the 4-man rotation coming on Koiz. Koiz has no mana for the escape.
That rotation was a little bit slow, though, and we are going to see Sobek, and we are going to see that we get the kill. We do get the kill. Sobek moving back in right now, though, trying to pick off another one. Shame, and Shame's a little bit low. Shame does hop off on the Panther just in time, but this fight's not over yet. Bellona is moving over, doing quite a bit of damage on Hades. Hades does get to pop the death from below and get out of there just in the nick of time.
Watch Jelly, he has those pen boots. Here's the ultimate Forger Vulcan. He is doing absolutely nothing as the shell is popped from Jelly. Good counter initiation there by Jelly to get the shell popped off. Air Cougar going to pick up the kill on Penny in the dual lane, however.
Well, every time we're not watching them, he's just managing to pick off these kills, and he's getting really big because of it. We're going to see a little bit of a boxing match between Sealcar and Sambam, but it does look like Sealcar is going to realize it is best for him to back.
I question the choice to put Penny in the dual lane. Even if you're bringing Forger in as a replacement, Penny, from what I know, is a player from PC, relatively new to the Xbox, and to put someone like that into the carry lane who doesn't have the grip for the controls just yet on the Xbox controller, is a little bit questionable.
Yeah, we just saw everyone pretty much from Epsilon go back. Have they gotten any big builds online, or are they just way too far behind to be getting important items?
Well, we're going to see first build the Dev Gauntlets coming out on the X-Ball, but Soul Leader being breaking out nice and early on the Hu Yi. He had that goal advantage, so he said, you know what, I'm going to get my boots and my Soul Leader, get my pen on nice and early, and continue to outbox X-Ball while he tries to stack.
Yeah, and
interesting choice by Air Cougar.
Yeah, probably the right one, though. That should make him a little bit more dangerous in these team fights here.
Yeah, early on here, he has that 3-level advantage, so he does have that innate attack damage advantage over X-Ball due to the scaling and the health. So you pair that up with the early magic
rotation coming in from Shame right now. The Shiva Lanka ult is popped. They got a decent amount of damage on Air Cougar, but he did leap out in time.
Yeah, so I think our answer on that Willix ultimate on the Hu Yi jump, I think, is a negative because Shame did have that ultimate up right there.
Jelly getting in a nice amount of damage, but the Geb shield is going to go up on Shiva Lanka. We're seeing quite a few members, though. Sambam's going to manage to get the kill on Penny. That is Penny going down how many times now? That's his. Yeah. He's 0-4-1 right now. Ho Yi dropping the ultimate right now does an impressive amount of damage, but it doesn't look like it's going to pick up a kill. Jelly getting a little bit unhealthy, but they're going to manage to box out Vulcan and Shame.
Vulcan holding on to his death from below there just in case he does get near the death. He wants to save that just last. There's no ability to pick him. He wants to get to the safety of the tower. Going to see the enemy buff camps being stolen once again by Eagers. They've just been dominating the map from buffs. Just the objective control thus far. Yeah,
and we're seeing Shame and Vulcan hanging around as long as they can because they don't want to lose the camp, but we might see a tower dive here from Air Cougar, and he's going to get the kill on Shame.
Oh, that auto attack was beautiful.
That was such a nice hit.
Yeah, just cut the space there between the wall and the tower. That was perfectly placed there. That a lesser AD carry would have missed that auto attack and would have just smoked the wall. Yeah,
we are actually going to see Vulcan use that death from below to get away there, but you kind of have to feel right now like Hades and Wheelik should have left earlier and just... They lost that camp already. There was no getting it back. We didn't see them try to invade at any point. And them hanging around, that's just another kill.
Right now, he's putting the damage on top of Dwarse. Dwarse is barely escaping with his life.
Yeah, so Sealcar is kind of shining right now for Epsilon, but I don't think that the solo lane is going to be enough to hold it together. We're we're 10 minutes in right now. We already see 6 kills on the board for Team Eager and only 1 kill for Epsilon. We are going to see Sealcar, though, push a decent amount of damage on this tier 1.
This is the problem with Jing Chen. When he's put on the board, he has that innate HP 5 built into his kit, into his passive. So you get that. I mean, that adds up to be about 36 HP 5. You can keep those ability stackings up for his passive. So a lot of other characters, they're forced to go into the Stone of Gaia early and not specking the damage, which is you're just going to see happen to Bologna here. Bologna usually specking into attack speed into her build.
Yeah, right now, though, Sealcar is realizing he might need to go back. He's going to try to get a little bit safer before he does do that back. It looked like Guan Yu was going to come over with the Bologna and easily take him down. They're going to opt in right now to take that mana camp, and we're going to see D-Worst pick it up. And they're just going to go pick up the speed buff, too. They have to do something in the jungle right now to try to catch back up.
Eager's farm has been second to none thus far in the game, and you see how they're prioritizing lane farm, backing it up as soon as they get that wave push with a nice wave clear. They're going back, rotating, getting a camp, coming back to lane. They're not missing a beat, and that's really the key here. They have effective farming on top of the fact they are dominating their lanes, and that's what's really going to make it hard for Epsilon to come back here, is they're not even able to get the farm game going.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from the calls that Eager has made. They know the counter jungling is going to put on so much pressure. The Shiva Blanca ult has been dropped again. We are going to see Shame take quite a bit of damage. Sobek's going to throw him back into Guan Yu, but gets out just in the nick of time, and Geb's going to be double sure. He's going to put that shield up on Shame.
Yeah, that Geb shield has been the saving grace here for Epsilon thus far in this game. Good call by Shame there. You'll see him just hop the Panther, wait for the pluck, and then just bounce on over. He knew he had the Geb shield there. Bounce on over to the side of mid Harpies, jump into mid lane where he knows it's safe.
Yeah, we do see quite a bit of damage coming into the Epsilon towers right now, and the first one is going to fall in favor of Team Eager.
Cougar's been absolutely dominant on that Hu so far. You might see the early executioners come out from him as well for that pen, so that'll be huge as well.
He is tearing Geb apart right now. Geb puts up the shield, and we're actually going to see Guan Yu hop up on his horse. We see him get thrown back, and Sambam's going to pick off that kill. They made him look like an absolute piece of glass there. They shattered him.
Yeah, he looked like a punching bag for sure. We're going to see the rotation on Gold Fury now. Forger Vulcan just on the outside here with a good Pillar of Agony. This could be good, but Jelly does have that shell early, which is a big counter to the Pillar at this point in the game.
Yeah, we do see the Gold Fury get...
Good timing. Willock's ultimate.
Yeah, that's an easy kill. But we are going to see a trade there. They managed to reset the Gold Fury, but that looked like a dangerous situation from Epsilon from the get-go.
That's a win for Epsilon there if they can make sure that this Gold Fury isn't taken. Penny's going to step up on it here, but he has to be careful. He's going to get sandwiched between Mac Boys and Air Cougar.
Yeah, and we know if Air Cougar manages to make it to Penny, Shiva Blanca needs to jump out here because Air Cougar is absolutely fed right now.
And the thing, I don't know if you noticed, you see the Zhong Kui ult go off in the middle of that fight when the Pillar of Agony was dropped there? Yeah. Just dominating any member of Epsilon that came in to try to put any lockdown on the Pillar. And you pair that up with the shell coming out from Jelly as well. I mean, there's not a whole lot of damage coming out from the Hades, and then you have all that damage from Zhong Kui on top of that, you know? So it almost negates the Hades ult.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if we're going to see any more fights around the Gold Fury right now. How important would you say the Gold Fury really is, though, at this point in the game? We're 13 minutes in.
It's worth taking at this point. Let's put it this way: it's worth about the same as a tier 1 tower, which is big. Okay, Gold Fury is worth something. Okay, but it can't be at the cost of a tier 1 tower, because then you've drawn on gold, you've drawn on XP, and then what happens if you give up global map pressure? You give up that big ward that shoots at people on the front of your map, right?
Yeah, so, I've seen them do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, those towers do a lot. You know, right to late game. I mean, those scale, right? So you don't want to give those up for a Gold Fury. You don't want to have that happen.
Yeah, and it definitely, the amount of resources that you actually have to invest into the Gold Fury, you could see that happening. We're going to see a team fight here, though. It does look like Eager's not going to get too aggressive here. They know, once again, we're going to see Epsilon a little bit close to their tower. If they move in, they might take that damage we were just talking about.
Yeah, they're going to rotate for the mid Harpies. They're continue to secure those timers, which they've been doing for the majority of this game. We've seen Eager with those mid camp timers for the last few minutes. Look at the X-Ball moving in tight on the Gold Fury, and that's going to be a steal by Penny. Huge steal there. That is going to be the saving grace for Epsilon right now is that can put them back into the game.
Yeah, Penny really. Yeah, that Penny stepping it up there. I mean, we are seeing Penny right now. He was he still is 3 whole levels behind the Hou Yi, but managing to get that Gold Fury. Looking at the graphs right now, it's starting to they're starting to close it a little bit, but it's still a 2.5k gold difference in favor of Team Eager.
The issue is that Penny isn't getting outsmarted, okay? That's not what's happening here. He's getting outboxed, which are two very different things. You know, Penny is just getting used to the Xbox controls here, but you've seen that his experience in the game really shone through there with the ability to get in there with the poison darts and then refresh the poison and with the X-Ball ult to lock down that Gold Fury. Good timing by him. Seriously, that was an excellent steal.
We haven't seen a steal be pulled off, especially at such a high value.
Yeah, not with an X-Ball. It's hard to steal with an X-Ball. I mean, you can do it off your foliage, you can do it off the poison, but it's not easy to do. You don't have that big burst to secure the last bit of damage on a Gold Fury like an Odin does, or a character like that, or a big circle ult to really affect things.
Hades is pretty good at stealing, though, right? He's one of those gods that can steal pretty efficiently.
Hades is the fire giant. Is the fire giant terror. If he jumps in on you on Fire Giant, it's game over. He can literally jump in 5 minutes and steal a Fire Giant easily.
Oh, we're actually going to see the rotation come in here from Team Eager, but once again, Geb Shield is just so strong. I didn't
catch that. It looked like the Geb Shield was dropped on Shame just as that pluck was about to toss him.
Yeah, that is what happened. Okay. It was very well timed.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, good play by Kenshin. I mean, we're looking at probably at the top 2 supports right now in the Pro League. Like, it's high praise, I know, but Kenshin and Jelly are definitely at the top of their game in the support role.
Yeah, they're both looking really, really strong right now. We are going to see, though, a rotation come in, and they're going to gang up on Vulcan. He's trying to get away. The Shibalanka ult does come out, but Vulcan is taking so much damage. The Geb Shield is up. People are not afraid to dive the tower, though, and they're still hitting him. He's going to drop his ultimate, but he goes down to Air Cougar's bow. Jelly,
Beautiful.
Though, not looking healthy right now. Shame's going to hop up on the Panther. Jelly, what are you trying to do here? Actually gets hit by the tower there when he tries to dive away. And Shame is not done yet. Still on the Panther, looking at Sambam right now. Going to try to push in some damage here. Who knows if it'll be enough, though.
Sambam turns at the wrong time there as the knockup's going to go down. There's the Feather Step as well. Sambam going to be down to half health as Geb and the X-Ball and the whole crew are going to have to back it on up here as they are out-leveled at this point. They don't want to get into a bad team fight. The story right there, did you see Forger pop back up into the team fight, avoid the Hou Yi ult, and just use his mechanical ability to dodge an auto attack, get the silence off on top of Air Cougar, and then use his 3 to heal back up so that he can pop the Pillar of Agony for his team there. And that actually was what separated Jelly from the rest of his team and allowed them to get the trade.
Yeah, and that was really beautiful. It allowed that team fight to go on much longer and definitely let it be not a wash. Like you said, it was pretty fair trade.
Yeah, it was a good trade for Epsilon. They are down to tier 1 towers at this point, but you have to think that there's some hope on the roster right now. They're only down 3k gold, and it's not a huge XP deficit. It's 5,400, which I'm sure they can make up if they start taking a couple tier 1s. Their tier 1 on solos almost down. Jing Chen could definitely put some work on that one. And, if they can keep getting in and at least contest on objectives, they might be okay getting into late game.
Yeah, Sealcar looks like he's in a pretty good place right now to potentially push down this tower. Bologna is moving back to lane, though, so it's definitely not going to happen right this moment.
If Sealcar just keeps pushing those minions in, the archers will put a little bit of damage on that each time. It's so low right now that maybe a minion wave or two where Bologna is just missing a step, just being pushed in a tower, will take that tower.
Yeah, and right now, too, we are seeing Epsilon start to get their own jungle camps. We're not seeing as much pressure in the jungle from Team Eager as we were. That might be enough to kind of at least slow down the snowball from Team Eager.
And your answer to why that's happening is if you look at the war chart right now, there's Jelly on the top with wards placed at 8, with Geb tied to him, and then the next 3 people with wards placed is Awilix, Hades, and Jing Chen. So they're winning the ward battles, which is the big story here thus far, and it's how they're getting the control back on their jungle.
Yeah, and that's really important, and we're also going to see that how important Vision actually is. It is kind of allowing them not necessarily to close the gap, but definitely stabilize it.
Yeah, Penny going to find himself separated from his team here. He's going to back it up the tower, and everyone's going to have to get out of here. McCoy's going for the hard engage, so looking for Kenshin. There's the Cataclysm going to go down as well. And here's Hades. Look for the Pillar of Agony. Here it comes right now. Willox ult and Air Cougar on the back line, and here's Hou Yi going to pop his ultimate down to zone everyone out. And this could be a washer. Shame is most likely out unless Jelly can get a pluck.
Yeah, Penny kind of hanging out on the outside of that fight the entire time.
At this point in the game, draws in these team fights are wins for Epsilon. If they can waste the time of Eager and get farmed up, it's a win for them.
Yeah, it will allow them to farm more efficiently, but right now we're going to actually see them aggress again, and they are just opening up on Guan Yu. Guan Yu is going to manage to back up a little bit, get his heal off, but Jing Chen is still following him. We're seeing Sandbam try to creep around. That's going to be enough, though, for Epsilon to say goodbye to this team fight, move back. We're actually going to see Shane back right now and try to get some more items online.
We're going to see Tier 1 go down to solo, which we didn't expect to happen for the worst, at least. We expect Sealcar to pick that one up, and he may be able to get the Tier 2 here as he starts to proxy.
Yeah, Bologna definitely pushing in a lot here. Look right now,
that's probably going to be a Tier 1 and a Gold Fury here, and maybe a Tier 2. So that maybe not so much a win for Epsilon, as they weren't able to get the rotation back. Jelly with the pluck on Kenshin.
Yeah, we're going to see the Gold Fury reset, but this team fight is still going on. Right now, we are going to see Matt Koiz pop his ulti, and it's going to hit Shame quite hard. We're going to see heal go off. Oh, this is looking like it might be another wash. Oh, but Shame is going to go down to D-Worst.
Yeah, DeWorst's going to get in there. He had the teleport there, looks like, to get into that team fight. Teleport to ward online. Shame was on the chase on DeWorst there, but he can't stop the teleport. DeWorst chasing down Penny here in the backline as the Gold Fury is continuing to be hit. It's going to be reset now as Vulcan and Sealcar were able to make that a possibility.
Yeah, Vulcan looking really scary there. You don't want to have him open up on you when you're in the middle of the Gold Fury. Holy cow, he just took out so many people with that ultimate. That was so strong.
Yeah, that was huge. That ultimate just to counter the Pillar of Agni there. You've seen how low that Forger was in that situation, so he just popped the Hu Yi ultimate down right on top of it, and that just shows how big of a lead Cougar has right now as he completely outdamaged the Pillar.
Yeah, and it puts so much pressure on. It's going to allow them to move back over to the Gold Fury. Sealcar now being the only person who is going to contest it. Penny trying to creep back, but it shouldn't be enough. We are going to see Shivalanka pop the ult, but the Gold Fury is already down, and now Sealcar overextended a little bit too much, and we are going to see a lot of damage come out on him, and yep, that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough to take down Sealcar there. Good trades by Eager. This is starting to fall out of favor now for Epsilon. It's still only a 3k goldie, but the thing is, unless they can hold down with this big XP deficit, they're at 7,300 now, it's going to be real tough for them to rebound. And I mean, that's a long road to get to level 20 right now. As we see, Forger's at level 14 to Zhongkui's level 16. And the biggest deficit, however, X-Ball's 3-level deficit to Hu Yi.
Yeah, and right now, when we look at the graphs too, it's been a pretty steady decline. We haven't really seen too much of a fight back. They need to do something big right now. Like you said, maybe map pressure is the way to do it. Maybe these team fights where they cause Team Eager to actually overextend, put in a bunch of resources while they're farming more efficiently. But as we can see, Team Eager really feeling themselves in team fights. That might be easier said than done.
At this point in the game, what needs to happen is maybe a Divine Ruin coming out on Hades. I know it's not a real popular build, but for the situation that they're in right now, if they can hit that Divine Ruin on top of the Zhongkui and the Guan Yu, they have spec to really get those for the regen and the team fights here. You're going to look at Guan Yu took that Breastplate of Valor to get the cooldown reduction for the Conviction, and that's what he's been spamming in these team fights. 7 assists on him right now. He did not opt to go with the Breastplate of Renewal. Mail Renewal, I should say.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what builds they end up going for, but we are going to see a little bit of a rotation going on from Team Eager. They're kind of grouping up, and now Geb and Vulcan are looking to move in on them right now.
Here, you're seeing them starting to take control of the jungle once again, as they found out they're able to bully these guys. There's such a big level advantage. Here's the Eagles rally on top of Penny. Penny's going to jump on out of there. Good job by him, but the block's going to come out anyway. The beads popped as well. Little late.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of pressure there from Hades, but that ultimate looked so weak against this Team Eager team right now. And now we're actually seeing Guan Yu kind of pulled away from his team. Jing Chen tries to pull him away, and that is going to save his team member, but it's not going to do too much in the department of securing a kill, while Sambam is going to take Vulcan down.
Sambam with the pick there. That was excellent. There we go. We're going to see the Willix block Jelly under tower, and this is the Feather Step. This could be it for Jelly. There's Jing Chen. Huge kill by Sealcar.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice kill. Definitely worth a lot at this point in the game, because if they didn't get that kill, we could have seen the Phoenix go down.
There we go. Sealcar still chasing here now. He is looking to put some damage on the enemy team. Penny up as well, but we see the worst coming on the backline. McCoy's coming in. Talu assault. There's the knockup from a Willix, and here we go. Kenshin moving in as well. Feather Step McCoy's. He's down to half health. Rich, what's happening here?
Epsilon's looking really strong right now. This is the best team fight they've had in a while, but Sealcar is getting a little bit low, and D-Worst is going to push in. Matt Koi's going up on the horse right now, trying to make something happen, but we might see Sealcar go down.
Feather step on Sam Bam. Here we go. McCoy's in the back. Talu Assault. There's the Eagles rally on Sealgar. Sam Bam going to pick up Penny, and DeWurst likely going to get Sealcar as well. Here we go. Kenshin going to be the one person to draw a kill here. The support looking real strong. Sam Bam in trouble. Forger Vulcan going to get that. DeWurst in deep on Kenshin trying to get the kill. The knockup not going to hit. Going to get the side of DeWurst as the chase is on. The pounce on DeWurst, and the feather step again. Silence, knockup, and DeWurst just wasting the time of Epsilon here. Are they going to be able to get this?
If the worst manages to get away with this, that would be so impressive, but we are going to see Shame finish him off, and Jelly's going to re-engage right now. He's going down under the water, and we're going to see Geb pop away just in the nick of time, but we might actually see Jelly pull off a kill, even though he is outmanned. Shame looking really, really weak here. So much blood.
Was just all over that team fight. The amount of knockups I saw Shame hit that team fight were absolutely unreal. Hard to hit too. I mean, he just rotated with the left stick, came over with the right stick to make sure he aimed those appropriately. Those are not easy to hit on the Xbox. That is a really thin hitbox, and to be able to get someone when they're on the run trying to dodge into Willix by, you know, rotating their bodies to the side, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy to get the knockup on a Willix, and he did excellent there.
We've seen a Willix look so strong as a god pick in a lot of these matchups, but that team fight, we saw so many people go down. But the end result is pretty much the same XP difference and the same gold difference.
Yeah, and you'll continue to see that happen. And the only benefit you're going to get out of those team fights is you're just pushing them off. You're delaying the inevitable, and you're looking to continue to farm up. The deficit's going to stay the same at this point. It's not really going to change a whole lot in these team fights. But the thing is, you're still getting closer to level 20, where once you get to level 20, one of those bars doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. That is definitely true. We're getting into a pretty late point in the game right now. It is 30 minutes in, and we're going to see some people moving around the Fire Giant, but they're definitely not looking to open up on it yet. Just going to drop down their wards and try to take down an Eager ward, and Sealcar is going to get that down.
Yeah, we're going to see the rotation here from Eager. They may try and get the ward on Fire Giant here, maybe fake it out, try and get an engagement again. They know they have the level advantage, and if they're going to win this game, they want to win it here. They want to win it when they have the level advantage.
Yeah, because that can only last for so long.
Exactly. And I'd say we're probably looking at about 5 to 9 minutes that this really lasts, where you start to see Sealcars just pushing on that level 20 mark, as well as Penny actually out-leveling Forger at this point as well. So, I mean, Penny gaining some ground back against Huyi already level 20.
Yeah, we are almost 30 minutes in. Do you expect a Fire Giant soon?
Yeah, I think that's what we see being set up for here right now. And we're going to look at the ward battle continue to happen here. And Eager's going to look to at least maybe fake it out and look to get an engagement here, maybe a pick. If they can get a pick, they will start Fire Giant.
Yeah, we as you stated, we did see a ward go down, and then we saw Sobek actually back, probably hoping that we would actually see Epsilon maybe start an engagement on the Fire Giant. Then they can come in, invade, and actually take some players, put them in the graveyard as long as they can, spiral their level advantage, and then maybe even pick up the Fire Giant buff.
Yeah, and that would be huge right now, especially when you're dealing with the heal comp. You got the Zhongkui, and you have the Guan Yu. If you can get Fire Giant on top of that with the HP 5, I mean that's big. You know, that'll sustain them.
Yeah, we're really starting to see these healing comps just being absolutely huge.
Take a look at the Soul Lane, pluck on Kenshin. Kenshin is going to put the shield down, and here comes the big Cataclysm 3-man. There's the Jing Channel, going to pick 3 under tower here now. Shame going to get attacked by the Talos Soul. Featherstep going to go up here as well. X-Ball ult was dropped, lurking in the waters from Jelly. He is on the chase, looking at Shame. Shame is out of the fight.
We are going to see Hades open up too with his ultimate, but it looks like this team fight might be a wash. If people could disengage here, but it looks like they're too hungry for blood. Kenshin taking a lot of damage, but he is beefy being on this Gab. Jelly looking at like he's at a scary place. D-Wor's going to pick off Kenshin first. That might be the only one to die. Oh, they're going to group up though. They are going to slam him down right now. Sealcar's out of this fight too. This is looking very dangerous. They might get a Phoenix here if they keep up this momentum. We're seeing the whole team, only Shame and Penny there to try to fight them off. Might not be enough.
Maybe not. There's a feather step on McCoy's. McCoy's in a lot of trouble.
Wow, he manages to almost get away, but Penny does finish him off just in the nick of time.
That is going to be a Phoenix, however, and that is a victory for Eager there, no matter who they lost. Penny moving in, however, he finally gets a stack on his passive.
Yeah, we're going to see Epsilon try to stay with them right now and fight a little bit more. They want to take someone down now that they've lost the Phoenix, but as they do engage, they realize it might be the best idea to disengage. They're going to have fire minions coming in soon.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. We're going to see the tier 2 tower likely go down in mid here as well, but we're going to see the rotation from Epsilon to at least try and defend. They see that coming as Cougar is pushing the wave up. Here is the pause. Looks like we have a DC on Jelly.
Yeah, so right now, though, what do you try to do if you're Epsilon? You kind of have to turtle.
You have to turtle. It's the only option you do have. You have to make sure that Penny gets some stacks on the passive. That was only the first stack on Penny's passive this game. He's got the Itchy and the Executioners online right now, and he's got a little bit of pan and the Quinn size. So interesting build to say the least. He's got a lot of attack speed to try and proc that Quinn size for the percentage health damage with the Devourer's Gauntlets. So it's interesting. He needs the attack damage on his passive because he really has none right now. He's not hitting the squishies for very much. He's not going to be able to outbox Cougar.
Yeah, right now, looking at Cougar too, the amount of player damage he's actually gotten through is just crazy. 23k.
Yeah, it's crazy. Cougar does have that big area ult for team fights as well. And you see Zhonghui has that as well. So that's 20k for Zhonghui in second place. Willix, though, is the real story. A real single target damage dealer with 19,389 in third place in damage. Shame really rocking the Willix well. And that's been the story for Epsilon, was what's really kept them in. I think Shame and Kenshin and Forger, they've done a lot to set up team fights here.
Yeah, they definitely have. And like you said, the Wheelix just really shining in all those team fights, kind of being the saving grace most of the time. And we did see some fights actually move into Epsilon's favor on the back of a Wheelix.
Yeah, well, on the backs of Eager, as she knocked them up, I would say, probably. But yeah, definitely. Willix has been absolutely dominant in these team fights. There's no doubt about it. As opposed to Eager, Cougar's really been the story over there. But I mean, they have a lot of great team fights here. Guan Yu's been able to sustain them through tower dives. Did I say Guan Yu or Zhonghui at that time? Guan Yu is who I meant. Zhonghui, however, with the ultimate, pairing that up with the shell from Jelly when Hades does the Pillar of Agony, he's absolutely been a counter. They played that exceptionally well.
How does Team Eager just lock this up, though? Because, like you said, they're in a very good place. Right now, how do you secure it? Do you have to go for the Fire Giant, or do you just keep putting pressure on other places on the map?
As Eager or for Epsilon?
As Eager. How does Eager just continue to win?
Eager needs to get the tier 2 tower down in mid and keep lane pressure. They get a little bit of lane pressure on the board with the fire minions pushing in to the right-hand side of the map. They're going to be able to get Fire Giant, and then they can make the push. The dives under the Phoenix with the Guan Yu sustain mixed up with the Fire Giant HP 5. Man, they'll be able to push in and win. But they have to do it soon. They have to do it within the next couple of minutes, or
like you said, they're going to lose this level advantage that they do have. As you can see already, the gap is starting to close slowly but surely.
Penny's on the slow road to, there we go, we might see a pick here now. Jelly is on the run. Sandbam in a lot of trouble here. Here comes the Zhonghui ult. Here's the Pillar of Agony as well. That's going to pick up the kill on Sandbam. Sealgar going to get the pick there. That is not what you want to see happen as Eager. You don't want to be split up like that. Not at this point in the game when you're winning.
Yeah, that looked bad from Sandbam from the get-go, and he fell down pretty quickly. But while he goes down, we are actually going to see Team Eager pick up a Gold Fury, and most of that damage was coming in from Cougar.
Yeah, a lot of damage from Cougar on the Gold Fury. At this point in the map, you have to question whether Gold Fury is really worth it on the left hand, the opposite end of Fire Giant when you have 5 men from Epsilon in the mid lane.
If you're Team Eager, though, you do have to be a little bit scared about actually going in on the Fire Giant, though, right? Because you do have the Hades who might be able to get in, do some damage. The invade potential is very real before you actually have some sort of at least a few people dead or some sort of other control going down on the board.
Interesting build coming out here from Guan. We see the Breastplate of Valor with a Transcendence, with the Runeforged Hammer, and now the Titan's Bane as well. So opting to go the damage route right now with the Runeforged, giving a little bit of protection, obviously, but a damage-centric tank item for sure, and the Titan's Bane. So interesting build coming out from Guan.
Jelly playing the ward game again. Managed to drop down a ward for Eager and take out the ward for Epsilon. Then he's going to move right back to lane. And it does look like Bellona is there now by herself, and a few other people were trying to move in. She's going to poke in a little bit of damage onto Sealcar.
Yeah, the other thing you need to look for now, as the game goes on, look for Hades as the Magic Pen is now aligned with the Void Stone. Look for him to do a lot more damage than he was doing before. He was building he's built into a hybrid build. He's got that Void Stone and he's got the Mail Renewal with the Warlock Sash. So look, he's going to be tanky, but now he's starting to get his damage online. And if Vulcan can do that, he'll be more of a presence in team fights.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of this vision game right now, and honestly, if you're Team Eager, you need to do something quick. They are all grouped up around the Fire Giant, and we're seeing a little bit of a dance here from Penny and from Gab.
You'll see evidence right here why the dual lane Phoenix is the most valuable in the game, because you see Vulcan, he's just pushing the fire minions away while minions are stalled out in mid and left as Eager tries to bait this Fire Giant, but you have 5 members of Epsilon right here with a Hades. So, I mean, you know, there's no easy Fire Giant right now for Eager.
Yeah, Epsilon definitely not trying. Oh, here we go.
There we go. The engagement has started. There is the pick by McCoys with Hui ult down already, but all ultimates are still up. There's the Jing Chan ultimate going to be dropped as well. Pillar Agony down here. DeWurst going to put the Eagles rally down top of Vulcan. Good counter. The beads coming out from Vulcan. He's going to fall. Ear Cougar on the chase. Going to pick up Penny as we see the pluck from Shame on Sambam. Sambam is on the chase with Jelly. However, Shame taking a hell of a lot of damage there. He is running as fast as he can with the beads popped right now. He's going to try and lead them on a chase, but they're not going to follow and opt to do Fire Giant instead.
Definitely not looking too healthy right now, but what a win on that team fight.
Yeah, big win there for Eager, and Sealcar trying to defend tower here, but he's not going to be able to do it against all these waves of fire minions, as the archers are going to prioritize that Phoenix.
And the Fire Giant does go down.
Yeah, Fire Giant easily going to be taken by Eager there. Sealcar and Shame going to have a tough time defending against the 5 members of Eager.
This game is looking pretty good right now for Team Eager. They did get the Fire Giant. Now they are going to move into the soul lane and push in as much as they can.
Interesting choice by Shame to go up and take the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, though, as Kenshin is just going to get absolutely melted here under Phoenix, as Hades just making his way up with Sealcar.
Yeah, now they're just going to move in. Are they moving to this mid Phoenix right now, or are they going to the tower? Okay, yeah, they're going to go to the tower.
Take tower first.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised by how they were moving.
Well, believe me, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a pro Xbox team make their move for Phoenix with a tier 2 tower up. They'll hit it a couple times and wonder why it's not doing damage, and they'll realize. Here we go. We see the engagement coming out here now. Sealcar deep in. Vulcan moving in. He is going to look to get a Pillar of Agony here. McCoy is taking a hell of a lot of damage as we see the Jing Chan ult trying to toss into Hades. Not going to be enough there. Shame in a lot of trouble. Going to get plucked by Jelly. Eagles rally. Going to overshoot. Sealcar running out now. That's going to be a mid Phoenix down. 2 Phoenixes down.
They're moving in for the third one right now, too, and they're definitely putting in a decent amount of damage. It's under half. It's under a quarter, and it is gone. Yeah, do they go for the Titan right now? I mean, the whole team is still up.
Yeah, that's could be the end for Epsilon here, unless something drastic changes. There's a Cataclysm from Kenshin.
Yeah, Epsilon managed to put in a decent amount of damage on the entire team, but we are going to see a little bit of a heal go off, and that's going to give them a little bit of sustain. They are backing off, trying to bait out Epsilon a little bit more, but the Titan is already under attack. It's already at 95%, and that's just from minion damage.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The fire minions with all those archers there is going to put a lot of damage on the Titan. Almost 20% gone already, and continuing to fall there, likely to be 25% now, and that's not what you want to see on the side of Epsilon.
Yeah, it's going to stop at 77. It does stop at 77%. Right now, we are going to see Team Eager. Oh, we're actually going to see a pause here.
Yeah, another pause coming out on the side of Eager. Some connection issues for sure.
Yeah, and that's just something we have to get used to with Xbox, and it has been getting a lot better.
Yeah, it's been getting a little bit better here. We're likely to see a patch, though, in the next week that's going to correct some of these issues I saw posted by Gandhi. So that'll be to the relief of many of the players going to attend UMG this week, which happens this weekend, I think.
Yeah, that does happen this weekend.
The other SWC spot?
Yeah, it's there are 4 teams going to that. I'm not positive who those 4 teams are right now. I know one of the teams is Juice because I was talking to Transonics about it.
Yeah, Eager is one of them. Release is one, and the last one was Elevate.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, and like you said, one of those teams, the team that does win, locks up a spot for SWC. And then the other competition that's going on is actually an ESL event that's only for European teams. So we're going to see one European team come from that. Then the third spot is from MLG, from this league. And then the last spot is actually an open bracket. So if you think you have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with some of these players, you should definitely look into going to SWC and entering in the Xbox One open bracket.
Sure, we're going to see the unpals happen here now, Rich.
As we see Epsilon trying to fight off the inevitable.
Yeah, we're going to see Epsilon try to get into the jungle and farm up a little bit right now and try to get back in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And like I said, I've only seen a comeback like this once since I've been casting. That was Juice versus Mortality back in the summer. And actually, that was the MLG 5K tournament that Juice won, their introduction to Smite. So that was the last time I saw something like that happen, and it takes a long time. I think that game was something like 75 minutes. So.
Oh yeah, it definitely. If Epsilon's gonna win this, if Epsilon does end up winning this, we're definitely seeing something over the 60-minute mark for the game.
They have a heavy tank comp here with not a whole lot of shred on the other side. So that, I mean, there is potential that they could defend the Titan, but there's a lot of area ults on the side of Eager too, where they can just get in with the fast engagements and really burst that Titan down. I mean, it only has, I think, 6,000 health at this point in the game.
Yep.
Plus, it has 77% damage onto it, or is a reset revealed?
I can't see the reset right now, but
yeah, it's not completely reset, but it is healing a bit because I believe when you kill the fire minions, this is how the regen works on that.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Actually, no, all Phoenixes are down, so actually the Titan won't heal up.
All right, right now we are going to see Team Eager start to move back in. Their whole team is coming up right now. This team fight could determine the game. And they need to be careful, though, with how they actually enter in.
They still have the Fire Giant buff on. There's Vulcan going to take a lot of damage. Talu Assault on top of Sealcar right now. Sealcar just in the middle of everyone. Here are the beads, and the Zhonghui ult is popped. X-Ball popped as well. Here's Xing Chen going to try and flick him into the fountain. Not going to happen. Shame trying to get Jelly into the fountain as well. That is also not going to work. A lot of damage going down on Titan here, Rich, as Earcougar picks up a kill on Vulcan.
Yeah, and as that damage is going into the Titan, we're seeing damage go into Sealcar as well. He's trying to get away here. It looks like this Titan's going to go down, though, before we see anyone else die, and there it is. Yeah. That is the game. What an excellent display from Team Eager, though. Epsilon not looking bad by any means, but Team Eager just looking dominant.
Yeah, Eager looked very dominant there. You've seen some synergy coming out from Epsilon there at the end. You've seen some nice combos where Shane would step up with a feather step from like the tier 1 tower, and then you'd see Vulcan just move in with the silence. So things like that were great. Okay, they showed little signs of synergy like that, but they really need to get it together. I mean, these are 3 different players on their roster, right? As opposed to like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, correct.
I think they had a good showing for what they're working with, I guess.
Yeah, they definitely showed a lot of individual player skill, but the team fighting just wasn't there as much as it was for Team Eager. So moving forward right now, what bans do you expect to see? What picks do you expect to see in the next game of this match?
I think it's important that they find a way to counterpick Earcougar on that Huyi. Is the team fight ability of Huyi right now with the buff to his ultimate is really strong, and they need to make sure that if they're going to pick a team comp, that it's not so circle alt centric in the way that they had to be standing in the middle of the team fight to initiate their ultimates. Like that was the problem. Hades got out damaged a lot by the Huyi ultimate being dropped on his Pillar of Agony, and then the shell being popped by Jelly for the protections, and then Zhonghui walking in with his, so they kind of countered the Hades pick there, as that was picked up nice and early, and it's something I didn't really think of. I mean, Eager played it perfectly, and I mean, this is why they're a pro team.
Yeah, we really saw Earcougar manage to get in on a lot of those team fights and just be a bully, be an absolute bully. But we are going to have to run to a quick commercial break. When we get back, we are going to see game number 2 of this match. See you after.